Alright, so welcome to the Quick Pump channel, and today I'd like to discuss my starter issue with a 2012 Kia Sedona, or what I thought was a starter issue. However, it was kind of like a bigger problem. So this is the starter, this is the part here, and it started for like maybe a month, maybe a little bit more, before one day it just wouldn't start at all. And when that happened, that was where I had to get my vehicle towed because I knew it had good battery, it just wouldn't start. So what had been happening before a month before, I'd hear some grinding when it's go to start. So I'd be like little grinding before it would start. So that was a problem. That was building over time, and then one day it just wouldn't start. Uh, so I went to go change the starter, and it's a pain in the butt to change the starter because you have to remove the heat shield. First, you have to snake your way to the starter. So you're going to have to get under there, remove the splash guard, which is the plastic part under the car, snake your way up to the starter by laying right under the vehicle. So you want to put it on some strong jack stands after you jack it up. And yeah, it's not weird. Anyways, 10 millimeter are the bolt sizes to remove the heat shield. There's two bolts in front. One of the bolt holds the ground wire. One in the back kind of just holds it on to the starter. You have to disconnect the clip and another wire going into the solenoid, which is the thing up here on top of the starter. And it's a pain to get to. Main thing is just to feel around and just have kind of like the right size sockets to reach the bolts, the main bolts, which are 14 millimeter, I believe. So you don't want them too short, but you don't want them too long. So you might have to use an extension, or you might need a deeper socket in order to reach them. But yeah, you can feel them, you can reach them, and it's a pain in the butt. It's kind of hard to see, but good thing once you're under there to try looking at from different angles. You might actually get a good view of it. So if you're not seeing one part of it, kind of squirm around and see from another part. But anyways, that's to get it off. So I get it off. I changed the starter. I bought a brand new starter, and I didn't think. I thought, well, maybe it's the starter because you can see how it's kind of the gear part that engages. It's kind of worn a little bit, but it still seemed to work because I would hear it still trying to start. It just would keep going. After the grinding, it wouldn't kick in. It would just go. So I thought it was the starter, but the weird thing is the starter kept activating. So I was like, it kept going. Because before it would go, it would start, But that grinding, a little bit of grinding each time. But one day it just didn't start. I get it towed, and then I went through and had to remove and replace it. My guess was, well, as I was trying to get it off and replace it, maybe the solenoid's not engaging it to push in to engage with the flywheel to start the vehicle. But as I found out later, that grinding sound was the flywheel, like the spokes of the flywheel grinding away. So yeah, it worked once when I replaced it, but then I went to start it again, it didn't work. So I was just thinking, I was like, well, maybe try, you know, maybe it's not in there tight enough. So I tightened the bolts and did all this weird stuff, but ended up stripping out the shield bolts, trying to put it in and out, just thinking maybe it's not in the right position to engage. Maybe it's not because it can't be the solenoid, because this is a brand new starter. Well, turns out the old starter would have worked too, but I turned the crankshaft with what I want to say, a 22mm bolt, and that's like on the side of the engine, like right near the belt, but not at the belt. But I would look up how to do that. I wouldn't recommend that, but that's one way to get it started. If you're stuck somewhere and you happen to have like a big socket 22, you can turn it to a point where it will engage uh, with the flywheel. And the reason why, I think, and I might be wrong, it could have just been its time, but I think there was some leaking in the engine over time, like the seals end up getting leaky in that engine. So what you need to do is, when you get high mileage, to prevent this, get some uh, of that old engine stuff, that engine sealer. I don't know what it is, but it's a treatment for your oil once you get over a certain mile, because those Kia Sedonas do leak a lot of oil, and it's probably those side seals leaking into where the crank, where the flywheel is, and that's causing some problems when it's engaging, and it's just tearing it up. So that's my guess. But one thing you might want to try, if you hear that grinding when it first starts, it just doesn't sound right. You'll know it doesn't sound right, but it starts. It's fine. It starts, but it's not fine. Maybe take it in, see if they can clean the flywheel or something, because in order to replace the flywheel, you have to drop the tranny. Oh yeah, so in order to fix the problem, you have to remove the flywheel, but to get to the flywheel, it's a big pain in the butt. You have to drop the tranny, uh, like you're like Big Lenny out on Dixie Highway in the 1990s after he got done doing his debauchery. But yeah, you got to drop the transmission, and it's hard to get to because you got to remove a lot of parts. Drop the transmission in order to get to the flywheel. Then you got to remove the flywheel and get the part and all this stuff. So, and then put it all back together again. So it's a big pain in the butt. Also, if it's leaking or dirty or anything, you're going to have that issue come up real soon again. So, yeah, you want to get engine sealer starting at higher mileage. You know, it's quick. I would add that stuff to any high mileage vehicle. Just, hopefully it seals those things that could leak into where the flywheel starter mechanism is. So pain in the butt. So I ended up trading it in, but just want to tell you some of the issues I had with my uh, with my starting of the Kia Sedona. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not an expert, but this might steer you in a more worrisome direction. But a lot of times it's not just the starter, it's the flywheel, because there's leaking and it's just tearing up the gears, and it's going to be effed up anyway. So, all right, so Just thanks for tuning in to Quick Pump Channel. Take it easy. Bye.
Video on a deer. Yeah. Hope it don't stay on the road too long.